Hello class, I hope you had a great week. Sorry about the crazy lighting. I got this cute baby sleeping back here. So there's that. Anyways, Charlotte's Web is an amazing book. It's always been a movie favorite of ours. So it was really nice to be able to read it all again. I think that Charlotte's Web does focus a lot on safe spaces, finding your safe space, and I feel like that's an important thing. Safe. It's important to have a safe space. Everybody has some place where they feel super grounded and comfortable and safe. So I think that's important. I wanted to talk about Fern and Wilbur, just how they grew together. Fern started out just saving Wilbur by basically throwing in her dad's face that if she was the little one, would they have killed her? Which is insane to do to an actual human, and why they do it to animals, I don't really understand, but I know there's a whole process with that. So, I think Fern definitely saved Wilbur, and I think he kind of saved her back, gave her something to live for and strive for and work for, and taught her a lesson. She seemed to be a pretty responsible kid already, but Wilbur, at first she treated him like a baby and had to feed him and take extra special care of him, pushing him in the carriage and whatnot. As he grew, he had to move to a different area, to the kitchen, or from the kitchen to outside to neighbor's house, so that he had his own space. And I think that that's all like a process in growing, even with our own kids. I know my daughter used to have all of her toys in the front room so that I can watch her every second. And then she got to go to the other room and eventually phased into her toys are in her room. And now she's 13 and I have to drag her out of her room. But no, I think it's important that the baby, she had to go through the growing up process and letting him go and letting him grow and letting him do those things, which is very important. Charlotte's message about how people live their lives is basically friendship equals satisfaction. So Charlotte had a purpose when she was taking care of Wilbur, and that purpose drove her to, do everything she did and live a little longer. And, she wanted to save him. He was her friend, and not everybody can look at a spider as a friend. And I'm sure that not a lot of people took time for her and to notice her even. So I think that was very important to her, which in turn switched, to make Wilbur feel like she was important to him. I think that the humans just explained the webs as amazing and miracles. They didn't really put thought behind how the web got there, just that it was there. And then I think they thought of Wilbur and not Charlotte because of the words she used. So Charlotte put radiant, humble, terrific. Those are not words that typically are used to describe a spider or even make you think of that. So I think that everyone automatically just assumed that the pig was radiant, and so she did a good job disassociating herself. So time is important in this book because Wilbur was a spring pig, and usually spring pigs become dinner around Christmas time. So whenever the timeline was established, it was like Wilbur was being born in spring, and then everything that comes up until then, and he was lucky to see summer at the county fair. So organizing the book in that way was nice for the readers. for the same reason that, you know, Birch Bark House did. It just let you know how to prepare and what typically happens at those times of years, and that makes a difference. You know, he was a spring pig and he got to see summer, so that's a pretty amazing thing in itself. Charlotte's Web and Winnie the Pooh are literary classics, I think, for quite a few reasons. They have a universal theme. It deals with real issues. Real things go on in this story, even though it's fiction, so it's made up, it's an imaginary place, it's just a different world, but it's still the same issues. It's still dealing with feelings and friendships and showing kindness and sympathy, and it really gets you emotionally involved. And I feel like Winnie the Pooh also does that. I think it does it in a little bit different way because you get attached to a character rather than a situation. So, like, where Charlotte's Web evokes feelings over a situation, and of course you don't want Wilbur to die, and it's nice that Charlotte's helping and Fern is helping, but in Winnie the Pooh, I think you become connected to the characters that maybe are most like you. You can relate to them a little more. I also like these books because the vocabulary. I like in Charlotte's Web how Charlotte explains a lot to Wilbur. She's teaching him like a mother. So I think that's important, having the extended vocabulary. I think sometimes we limit our vocabulary because they're children, but we really don't need to. Like, my nephew's 3 and has been saying amazing and extravagant because those are just words we use with him. So it's really cute to watch like a 3.5-year-old be like, oh my gosh, that's insanely amazing. Like, it's funny. Anyways, I think that Charlotte's Web is appealing to children because they, they're real situations. The friend thing, I think, is a big deal for kids because a lot of kids struggle making friends. Some kids struggle finding good friends. And I think that's a big deal. Showing kindness is a huge thing. You remember people who are kind to you, and that is a lasting thing, I think, for a kid. This book has a lot of great role models. So farmers working hard, doing what they do, Fern standing up for what she believes is right and saving Wilbur, Charlotte killing herself practically to save Wilbur, and I don't know, it's just, there's a lot of great role models and just teaching kindness, so I feel like that appeals to kids as well as just animals in general. Captain Underpants is I am glad we had to read those because I have always, as a parent, been a little off-put by them. My daughter I don't want to say wasn't allowed to read them, but we definitely had some conversations after. Captain Underpants is just borderline, I guess, for me. I can see why kids love it. He uses language that kids would love. It's funny, it's entertaining, it's imaginative. I don't love that the kids get in trouble so much. They do the pranks, but we do the same thing in our house. We prank each other, we scare each other. So it's just having conversations with your kids and making sure that they know the limits. They know where it's funny and then the line between you're gonna get in trouble is. So I think that's a big thing. Not a huge fan of him being Captain Underpants in underwear, which I can set that aside and see why children love it, because underwear and poop and farts, those are funny things. Like, so I get it. At the same time, not necessarily my favorite books. I am going to get a couple and read them with my nephew and see what he thinks. I tried to do that before I made this video, but it didn't really happen. So, I will maybe add something in the comments if I am able to do that. So, I think the main thing is remembering words make a difference, and they did in Charlotte's Web, and they can in real life. So use words often and use them wisely and kindly. And I hope you all have a great journey. Bye.